It is 10 a.m. in Atlanta, Georgia, where the judge has ruled this morning in favor of severance for 17 of the co-defendants in the Georgia election interference case. This comes as another hearing is being held in this case today. The proceedings will focus on several motions involving Kenneth Chesebro and Sidney Powell. The judge has denied Chesebro and Powell's request to have separate trials from each other. Joseph Tully joins us now for more analysis. He is a criminal defense attorney. So thanks for joining us, sir. What is your take on the ruling this morning?
Thank you so much for having me. My take on the ruling is that it was pretty predictable in terms of, in my experience, watching these types of motion get argued in court. Really, what I think the judge is doing is kind of helping the DA a little bit. The prosecutor wants to try all 19 together. The judge has said, look, this is not realistic. And the two people that have said, look, we're not waiving speedy trial. We want to go to trial right away. Everybody else is saying, we need time to look at over all the evidence. We need time to adequately prepare. So the judge is cutting basically two of the accused loose, and they will be tried together.
Now, funnily enough, these two individuals also wanted to be severed from each other as well. And they are kind of being accused of different sort of things, right? Powell's is being accused of kind of pursuing the assertion that some of these voting machines were all messed up. And Chesebro he's the one that they're claiming is responsible for the fake elector scheme. So in a way, they kind of have like different cases here. What's the strategy, do you believe, that goes with separating these two from the 17 others?
So it would be their defense attorneys. So if I was in that position, why I would do something like that, and I have nothing to do with this case, is you think, okay, how can I get my person away from everybody else? Because sitting with everybody else through a long trial, hearing all this evidence, it doesn't have anything to do with you. It's prejudicial. So the quickest, easiest way, the first plan of attack to get your client out of that is to say, we're not waiving time if it's possible. And with these two individuals who were accused, that's what their attorney said, is they said, okay, we are going to do a speedy trial. Everybody else will want to take their time and get to know the evidence. We don't have that intense of a discovery review in order to prepare the case. In other words, our defense is very simple, so we don't need to review everything. Let's just go to trial. And that's basically the ticket that got them away from the 17 other individuals.
Let's talk about Mark Meadows. He is trying to get his case moved to federal court. Oral arguments are taking place tomorrow on his motion for stay. What do his lawyers need to do here? I mean, what is the basis and the rationale for what he is asking?
So what he's saying is he's doing a different tactic. He's saying, look, this case, my case, belongs in federal court. And generally speaking, you get a removal when your case raises issues of federal law, when it's more properly tried in a federal court, when the jurisdiction just more properly falls under federal jurisdiction. So here, the question is, well, the Constitution, the United States Constitution, gives voting up to the states. It leaves it up to the states. So on the other hand, Mark Meadows is saying, hey, look, I have defenses in federal court that I can't use in state court. Therefore, I need to remove my case to federal court. The judge denied that. Now they're appealing that. And in the process, they're saying, hey, while we appeal the decision to not remove me, please put my case on hold, put it on ice. That's what a stay is, and that's what Mark Meadows is doing.
So, in terms of the trial for Donald Trump, though, as far as I know, a court date has not been set yet. How could the outcomes of these other hearings have an impact on his case?
I think so. Everything affects everything else. So it gets really complicated, almost like an engineering process where you have to deal with all these different moving parts. I think that the more people that get severed from from his case, the less flexibility that Donald Trump would have in continuing his case and in putting it off. The more people that are together, it's just harder to get that case through the system. And so they would be able to use different legal tactics to kind of delay going to trial, the more people that are in the case. You know, one big group, if somebody has a problem, somebody has an issue, the case can't move forward and everybody's delayed. So the more people that do get removed, the less flexibility Donald Trump's defense team will have.
All right, Joseph Tully, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.